Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to have a live chat and just chat to you guys about the houseplant tour, how it was filmed, how it all came about. So if you're watching this on replay, if you click that live chat button, you'll be able to see all the comments that come through. Anyway, I'm just going to wait and let some people join the chat. Hi there, welcome. Hiya, hello. Oh, gonna have to get my glasses on. Hi, Mavis. I'm good, thank you, brother. How are you? Ah, Valerie, did you get a chance to watch the? I think you did watch the houseplant tour, didn't you? There we go. If you see me looking down, it's because I've got my laptop. I'm so blind I can't read the screen, so I can't see any comments that come through. Hi, Mavis. Nice to see you. Uh, Valerie, it's a bit of a long one, the the houseplant tour, but it's quite funny. Oh, hello, Ursula. Nice to see you. Oh, you enjoyed the houseplant tour. Thank you so much. Hi, Nathan. Hello. Nice to see you. Right, you guys, I've got to tell you, I'm not sure if Lidl does plants. Hi, Robert. I'm not sure if Lidl does houseplants everywhere, but in the UK, let me tell you, Lidl is where it is at. So I'm spilling all the tea now. Um, so in Lidl, every Thursday they do a houseplant drop, and they cycle it. So each week there's a different variety of houseplants, and they send out like a brochure the week in advance so that you can prepare. But when I tell you, if you get there on a Thursday morning, people are literally snatching houseplants out of your hand. But they're really, really good quality plants as well. They're around about £7.99. Who's this? Mavis. Yeah. Mavis says that there's a scrum around the little plants. Like, people told me, and I was like, "Oh, it can't be that bad," until I went and saw it for myself. Man, but I've got to say the plants are absolutely beautiful. Um, and now that I've done the houseplant tour, it's awesome because it means I get to should be a little bit more free around here and I can show you some more stuff. So I'll show you one of the plants that I got. Ugh. So it's this different here, but it's absolutely stunning. And I've still got the label in it. Uh, there you go. It doesn't quite focus. But so it comes with the plant and the basket as well. And I think altogether with the plant and the basket is £9.99. The plant just by itself is £7.99. So it's absolute phenomenal quality and some beautiful plants as well. But I cannot say them. I can't say these plant names for. Yeah, you see, I should be like a little spokesman now. I've done so many videos. So if you've got Instagram or TikTok, I make shorter form content on TikTok and Instagram. And so sometimes I'll go out and I'll do a plant haul accidentally. You guys know me. So I'll go Uh, I'll go and pick like maybe one or two plants and end up with a whole bunch of them. But I film it and I do short form content. So last week I made a video and Lidl actually shared the video on their Twitter social media page. Valerie, yeah, listen, Valerie, that is where it's at. So you've just moved to Essex, you said. Yeah, you need to find yourself a Lidl. Some of them, do you know the most embarrassing thing? I was going the whole week looking for an Alocasia Regal Shield, and because I think that was probably the most popular Alocasia that they had this week, every time I went to Lidl, it was gone. So I had to go to three different Lidls to try and find one. And in actual fact, what I learned is each Lidl is the houseplant section in each Lidl is completely different, and they only seem to have them right in the foyer of the store. So if your store's got like a really tiny entrance, that's where they feel that they'll still put the houseplants there. So um, sometimes if that particular store doesn't have a great selection, you just need to go to a different store. Um, Mavis, you say you got a gorgeous tread scantia. Oh, a Nanook. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Was that in the £77.99 range, Mavis? So I'll show you the Regal Shield actually, because I didn't really give that much focus in the houseplant tour, but the leaves on it are quite big. Hold on. Now, unfortunately, Mavis, that Nanook was only £3. Wow, that's a bargain. So I managed to pick up this Regal Shield. It was the only one that was left on the shelf, and I can see why, because it did have a bit of damage. Ooh. So this leaf here is completely ripped. It almost looks like a stingray now, but the rest of the leaves are fine. But it's the underside. It's those really beautiful veins that I love. It's gorgeous. And, oh, yeah. So I think with a bit of, oh, yeah, and it had a damaged leaf here. But I think with a bit of TLC, it will bounce right back. So that, yeah, that's that. It's really, really cute. But yeah, so the houseplant tour. Do you know that was a lesson for me? So I I recorded that. It took just over 2 days to film that whole tour, and the problem that I have is opposite me there is a brand new construction site. So they're building a brand new tower block, and because of that, it means that I can't record outside until they finish working. So I've got into the habit of making all of my videos in the afternoon, but this one I wanted to do in daytime so that you could see the house plants in my front room during the day. And I've never had to really deal with the fluctuations in light. So it took forever to try and film. So you got to like some of the the lighting in all of the shots are slightly different because it was really, really challenging. Um, Now I'm not complaining because obviously I've got beautiful views and floor to ceiling windows, but it was really challenging. So I'm going to have to learn how to do that a little bit more often, how to film better in daylight because I've got nothing blocking my light, blocking the windows. So that was one element of it. And then I just didn't know how many plants that I have. Um, oh, I see this now. Valerie thinking I can take the stem. I think taping the stem of that alocasia, I think that's what I might just have to do. But it's also one of the older leaves, so I think I think that was one of its first baby leaves, so it was going to shed that leaf anyway. So I might just leave it. But yeah, with the houseplant tour, I didn't I didn't know how many plants I had, and it took such a long time to film everything, and I still missed one or two plants. And I think you can see it on my face. It wasn't until I was talking about the Addisonii that I then realized, oh crap, I've got more plants in my bedroom. And I remember finishing that segment, and then I walked into my bedroom and I was like, Jason, what on earth is this? Like, how are you going to, like, if I had gone through and then filmed all of that, I think that whole tour would have taken like 2 hours. But it's funny though, because I look on YouTube and there's plenty of people who've got like hour-long houseplant tours. I'm like, oh, how long can one person stay watching a houseplant tour video? So the fact that you guys watched it for as long as you have done, thank you very much. YouTube has picked up the video and it seems to be sending it out to lots of new people. So you guys must have enjoyed it. So thank you for watching it. Which then leads me to, do I do a part 2 and film that blasted bedroom of mine? And I think that's a yes. I think I'm probably going to have to at this point. So yeah. Look at you all. Yes, houseplant tour. So somebody's asking about Wilco plant deliveries. Okay, so for those of you, let me just plug my laptop in. Sorry guys. Bear with me, sorry. Okay, there we go. Okay, so with Wilcos, in the UK, we've got a store called Wilco's, and they sell lots of things like stationery, pots and pans. They have lots of stuff like shower accessories, all sorts of different things. And they also have like a small section for houseplants, or some Wilcos do. Now, what I found with my Wilcos is if I pop in on a Friday or a Saturday morning, they've normally got a shipment before the weekend. But because I live in the city centre, for those of you who don't know, I live in Manchester, and I live round about a 15-minute walk from the city centre. If I get there on a Saturday afternoon around about 4 or 5 o'clock, the plants are all gone because it's just so busy. So sometimes with Wilcos, you just need to get there as early as possible. The thing the thing with Wilcos though is sorry, yeah, I did you notice I love that you noticed my dodging of your name there. I thought I was so classy with that. But yeah, and I'm the same as it can be really random with the Wilcos drop. But you can get some really good finds in there, and I've just finished filming a TikTok video actually about this. But sometimes if I go into Wilco's, because I know that they know nothing about their houseplants, that is one of those stores where I will look through all of the monsteras looking for any form of sport variegation, any form of elbows that have slipped through the net. So embarrassing. Does anyone else do that? Is it just me? Am I being crazy? I'm sure it can't just be me. But yeah, Wilco's is really awesome for that. So you can find like a couple of bits and pieces there. The only thing with Wilco's though is sometimes they don't label all of the houseplants properly, so they might just call it a foliage mix, which leads me to believe that half the time they don't even know what they've got. So that's how sometimes you can find some really good plants. The other store that I use quite a bit actually is B&Q. I think, guys, is B&Q the same as Home Depot? Are they the same thing? With B&Q, you can find some really great plants in B&Q. Um, but I don't know. Sometimes by the time you get them home, they just they kind of just die. So um, I'm not 100% convinced that B&Q has the best quality houseplants, but they certainly do have a really great range. And at the moment they've got a range where you can buy smallish three smallish houseplants for the price of two, and they're quite good as well. Oh, someone else does this with Morrison's. Yeah, so Morrison's is another good one where you can just go in and double check the plants as well to see to see what you can find. And okay, and then Tatum. You see, there you go. I was that's what I did think it was pronounced Tatum, but I held off just in case. Tatum also says home base is good too. Got a lovely string of hearts from there recently. Home base for me, their plants are really good, but they're also really expensive. So I always go to home base and think, oh, you look at like the multi packs, and sometimes the multi packs of some of their plants are like almost £15 for two. So then I'm like, oh, that's a bit expensive. Let me put it back. And then I'll come home, go onto eBay, and then buy a Monstera Albo for £80 for one leaf, thinking I've got a great bargain. Valerie says B&Q have a great selection of seeds, um, and that that is where I get most of my seeds. In all honesty, is B&Q, and that is the trigger point. So I go into B&Q to get seeds, and then somehow leave with about six houseplants. So, but they do have a really great selection of seeds, and it's not normally just like they'll have tomatoes, but then they'll have a whole load of indeterminate, determinate tomatoes. They've got like a good 20 or so variety of each different plant. So some like they are really really good for that. And I've never ever had an issue with any B&Q seeds germinating. So once again, I give them full credit. Oh, look, we're having a debate now in the chat about where is expensive. B&Q, mm, I don't think B&Q is too expensive. I think maybe that I suppose some of the house plants. I think maybe if you at the moment with B&Q, I've seen a lot of allocations there, and they have some really giant allocations, and they're normally around about £25. So I saw some giant Sabrinas. And what else did I see there? They had a giant. They had purple swords. And I actually picked one up. So they had a purple sword alocasia and some giant Sabrinas, and they were £25 each, which isn't that bad. Um, to tell you the truth, at the Chelsea Flower Show, when I went to see the balcony gardens there, they were around about £65 for the same size. So I came back and I was like, oh, actually, maybe B&Q is not that expensive. um, but one of the things I do love about B&Q though is they've got quite a good range of the kind of middle-sized alocasias, but then they've also got some giant plants as well. So there's quite a few. They had quite a few fiddle leaf figs. They had some giant money trees, and they were quite expensive. But what I did buy were from Lidl was a money tree, and that had actually two plants in one pot, and it was £10.99 because it was classified as a large green plant. So it's £10.99. It comes up to my shoulder, and I went across the street to B&Q, and the same plant and it only had one in a pot was £25. So then I was like, oh, little it's got little's got it. Valerie's asking what the Chelsea Flower Show was like. The Chelsea Flower Show was amazing. I absolutely loved it. It was um, it was really nice experience. And I went to the Tatton Park flower show first. So that was my first ever flower show. I've done a video on that. I had I was on a notice board in one of the gardens for the BBC as one of the community gardeners of the year. So I decided that I had to go and see my own face up on one of the boards. And I went there, I had a really, really great time. And for those of you who don't live in the UK, I'm I'm from London, so I'm from South England. But when you cross the border, as we call it, and you go up north in England, the vibe is just completely different, and people are really different, and they're super friendly, and there's a real big north-south divide. And then when it came to Chelsea, um, I did notice that it was a bit different. It was a bit of a different vibe. People aren't as friendly as they are up north. It's just a thing. But in terms of the displays, everything was just absolutely beautiful. Um, and I went specifically to see the balcony gardens. And I think you should watch the video and make your own mind up and see what you think about the balcony gardens. But for me, I love them. I just like I would have loved to have seen a little bit more of a reality of container gardening and balcony gardening, and it's hard because the designers probably don't have experience on the balcony garden, but also they it's their job to create a real dream, like a dream garden. And they did that to a T. They understood the assignment, they got it. But for me as a balcony gardener, it was missing things like I don't know any balcony gardener who doesn't have containers on their balcony. Like it didn't compute. So for me, I would love to see a realistic kind of balcony garden where there's a bit of there are some containers, but it still looks pretty. So I look through our Facebook group and I scroll through that and I look at all of our beautiful balconies and like all the work that you guys do, and I just think, well, your balconies are beautiful in their own way. And so I hope that next year they will incorporate some more balcony gardening and we can show them. Um, we've got another entry into our shopping list. Someone's mentioned, is this Mavis? You've mentioned B&M. B&M sell plants too. You got two large calatheas for £14 in B&M. That is astonishing. I didn't know that they did those. One sec. Um, that is awesome. Um, I think the B&M, my closest B&M doesn't. Oh no, it does. It my closest B&M, it does outdoor plants. So I've seen a lot of they'll have loads of bedding. They've got some great compost, but I've not seen them do any indoor plants. So maybe this is a new thing. Thank you, Mavis. You've given me a new spot to go and check out. So I'm currently going to like Google now to see like where all the nearest B&Ms are, so I can go and find some some new plants. um, and Valerie says South London, the people are very friendly. I also went to Leeds, Manchester, and the people. So Leeds and Manchester, being up north, they are really yeah, they're really lovely. They're really lovely people up here. London London can be a bit iffy. Like when I first moved to Manchester, I didn't I was at the bus stop and somebody was speaking to me at the bus stop and I looked at them, I was like, what are you doing? Like who talks to someone at the bus stop? Because in London you just don't do that. Like if you start talking to someone in London at the bus stop, it's like you need to be prepared because you're about to get attacked. Like you don't do that. So it was a bit strange for me to to come to Manchester and then have people talking at me or talking to me. So I had to learn how to do that. Um, has anyone started any plants for autumn or winter? Because I'm just about to. I think tomorrow I'm out in the garden. So I've checked the weather. I think we've got 2 good days of weather coming up. So for the next 2 days, I'm going to be turning the garden around and I'm going to try and show you guys what to do with your balcony gardens over winter. So I know that some of us will be using it to grow, and then some of us um, will just be packing up ready for winter. Um, so I will be making sure that I show you what to do with your garden and what you can start to put out. Now, I think I showed you in that video, I've got a whole heap of plants over here that I've got ready to go out. But a part of me is going to be so upset that tomorrow I'm going to have to dig up some of these plants. So you better check in on me tomorrow on Instagram or whatever, because I'm going to be a little bit upset. But I've got at the moment I have some beans, I've got some spinach, mustard, lettuce, um, and peas. I've got lots of different types of peas that I'm going to be putting out tomorrow. It's just really weird. It's going to be really weird to see the garden go from being wild to being a little bit tame. So that's going to be interesting. And then on the, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but on my community tab, I asked you guys a question about ASMR. Does anybody watch those videos or enjoy them at all? Because it's like I for the past couple of months ago, they've been such a massive thing, but I don't really, I never it never really clicked in my head like what do people do with it? And then I watched a couple of them, and then I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. It's really quite calming. So I was thinking to do a cloud garden version, but probably film it at night so that you guys get to experience being out there at nighttime, um, safe from your own rooms. Um, oh, good. So somebody does. Somebody watches ASMR videos. Okay, cool. Yeah, see, everyone thinks that you're a weirdo. Like because right. So there's certain elements of this. Your partner thinks that you're a weirdo. But it's just because there's certain elements of this ASMR that I don't understand. So it's like, do you like there's some where you hear people eating and you hear all those sounds of them eating and I'm like, oh, that's really creepy. But then I watched a couple where it was in somebody's greenhouse and they were just working, and then I quite liked the sound, so I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. So I thought it would be interesting to do my own spin on it and show you what it's like living in the city centre with all of the noise, which I actually don't get a lot of noise, though I'm in the city centre at night, but just letting you hear that and then obviously see the garden at night. So you can just stick that on when you are um, when you're about to go to sleep. Um, and I've got a TV in my bedroom. I can cast my videos to the TV, so I would do the same. Like it would be something that I would watch. So I hope I don't know. I don't know. I'll give it a go. Valerie says that you've ordered some seeds. Oh yes, I remember you saying actually. So Valerie has got some awesome. She's been doing some awesome planting with tomatoes. So a while back, I did a video on loads of different types of tomatoes, indeterminate, determinate tomatoes, and Valerie has a bazillion and one different tomatoes that she's been growing and been growing indoors as well. And so I think this is one of the topics that I might bring back for the winter growing series, and that is growing tomatoes on the windowsill indoors throughout winter because it can be done. Um, Valerie's also going to be using a hydroponic system. That that would be so cool. So I've had some companies talk about, well, a company in particular reach out, and they wanted me to show some of their products, and one of them is hydroponics. It's like a hydroponic grow station. So I was thinking, mm, would that fit into the channel? But I think it actually would. So watch the space. I might end up doing that. Just because I think it's really interesting and it's a really cool activity to do inside. A lot of channels just focus on having these massive gardens and stuff like that. But actually, if you don't have a garden and you've only got a windowsill, hydroponics is a really great way of growing. So for me, it's really quite interesting. Um, in fact, I've been dabbling quite a bit with some perlite um, and growing things in perlite. Right. Let me just. So I've been saving this. This is going to be. You guys are getting a sneak peek. So only you guys who watch the lives are going to know this in advance. But what I didn't show you in the houseplant tour is I've been growing some alocasia corms in perlite, and it's just in a Tesco's muffin case. So it's just I just bought it, put it in this packaging, and here we are. Um, so let me see if I can show you this properly. So there you go. If you see me looking to the left, I've got my I've got my TV as a screen showing this, showing what you guys can see. But yeah, so I've got some allocations here. Let me get a little bit closer. But the thing is that I planted them the incorrect way. So I followed all the steps. I was following this YouTuber. She lied to me, I swear. So I'm gonna pick one out. Let's see. All right, go for this middle one. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but there you go. So there you go. This poor thing. It should have been up that way, but now this poor old plant has been growing upside down, so it's had to try and curve around to try and find its way out. But in here, oops, I'll put it back in. So in here, I've got perlite, and then I use some Super Thrive in water, and then it's got a bit of water underneath, and it's kind of like a similar setup, I guess, to hydroponics in terms of putting liquid fertilizer in there for the plants. So yeah, I think having doing a hydroponic set will be quite interesting actually. So Tiny Tim tomatoes, um, they are Tiny Tin tomatoes are really, really great. So you can have, yes, you can grow them indoors and on the windowsill. And they are really, in fact, oh no, I finished them. So I did grow them indoors this summer, and they, just like most indeterminate plants, or sorry, determinate tomatoes, when the yield of fruit that they produce is immense. And my mistake was I grew too many at the same time. Then I had a complete abundance of tomatoes. But they're really, really cool. Um, those and also tumbling toms, I think they are really cool as well for windowsills or for hanging baskets. Then, oh, right. Let me see. Where is Where's my white fusion? Oh, here she is. Right. So this flipping plant, I swear. Can we like come to like a general consensus that calatheas are just not the one? Um, I think these guys, like, what are your care tips with them? Because I go like to loads of different channels. Everyone kind of says the same thing, but yet, and then all of these YouTubers have got these absolutely perfect plants, and I'm like, but I've just done what you've told me to do, and my plant looks like this. So if anyone here or anyone who's watching this channel, watching this video, has got some actual tips on how to keep these things alive, please let me know because I just I cannot with these plants. Like I keep the soil moist, but then not all of mine like the soil moist. This one seems to like the soil moist. They like a lot of humidity. I get that to stop the crispy leaves. But apart from that, I'm just like fighting a losing battle. So yeah, if any of you have got some tips, please let me know. And actually asking, can I prop my monsteras? And have I had any luck with propping in clay balls? I don't see much of that on YouTube. So by the um, by the clay balls, are you talking about leca? Do I have any leca? I don't have anything on leca, but leca is something again that I'm going to be quite interested in doing. When it comes to my monsteras, uh, what happens is I buy plants and then I think, oh, I absolutely love them, and then I find it really difficult to chop and prop them. So Chad is my main guy, but then could there's absolutely no way I could even ever touch Chad. So I bought Becky, which is a smaller one, and then I ended up naming her and liking her, so I couldn't chop her. But I think what I might try doing is um, get either doing some getting another plant. I will try again because in Lidl's this week I think it's Monsteras this Thursday, so I might go and see what they have, and then I might do some just for the channel, do some propagations on that, but then also maybe try air layering. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of air layering, but essentially it's kind of sealing up the roots, the aerial roots in either a moss or perlite or something like that, and then letting the roots get stronger, and then you chop it off and then propagate it. So I could try do something like that. And leca, like I said, I would love to try leca. It's just really expensive, and I don't know where to start really. So if you've got any tips on that, let me know because I'll happily give it a go and try. Mavis says with the calatheas that they need a shady corner and a humidifier. Yeah, so I find with mine, all of them, they tend to they tend to reach for the light. I call them Icarus plants. So any time there's a bit of sunlight, you find them reaching to get into that direct sunlight. And then the second that they get into that sunlight, they're burnt to a crisp, and you're like, oh, what are you doing? Just stay in your lane, stay where you're comfortable. But no, these guys have just got different ideas. Um, so, um, but yeah, having said that, in my bedroom, I do have some that are actually really successful. So it's not all bad. It's just, it's, do you know what it is actually that hurts me the most? It's the calatheas that are the most expensive that have done the worst. My cheaper ones, the ones that are like £5 or £6 or £10 max, they're flourishing, but the fancy ones, no. Um, like for example, mooncake. So mooncake was in the tour. Mooncake is my orbifolia, and she's massive. But um, with her, it was one of those cases of finding the right spot for her. And once I found a spot that she gets dappled evening sunlight, and she's been thriving in that. And like Mavis says, moist soil. The second that her soil has dried up, she flops down. I'm thinking if I was ever to do a video on a calathea, even though Orfolia isn't actually a calathea, it will be that one, because that one I feel like I have mastered, and she's got the battle scars to prove it. You love that I named the plants. So I don't always not all of them have actually got names, but it's the ones that have some form of a story behind them, they do get named. And I don't know, I think they just become part of the family. But then I can't, once I name them, that's it. Like I care about them too much, so then I start faffing with them, and I do too much with them. And the ones that I tend to ignore are the ones that actually do the best. So the only exception to that is Chad. The rest of them, the more that I try, or the more that I leave them alone, the better they are. The ones I actually care for, they just die. Oh, I just scroll through, make sure I haven't missed anything. Hello, Harley. Forgot to say hello. There you go. And actually, bear with me 2 seconds. Let me go and bring the other Addisonii, because I think you'll be impressed to see that one. So give me 2 secs. Right. Here we go. So this was the last thing that I wanted to show you. I just found, where's the other one? Okay. Oh, that's it. Right. Okay. So this one was the original. So this is Brad. So this is the one that you guys got to see on the tour, on the houseplant tour. But you can see he dropped all of his leaves and everything there. And what had happened was basically I completely overdid it with the watering. He was on the Juliet balcony side. Oh, sorry, he was on the balcony side, and his leaves just got completely burnt in the sun. And even now, you can still see some discoloration in some of the leaves, but he is doing okay. But I ended up having to split him up in half. So I bought another plant, split him in half, and I made another one, and I'll show you the other one now. Ooh, hold on. I'll put you down. So I gave it, oh wow, I gave it a moss bowl, and it's super full. It's pretty awesome. And I think now that this guy has managed to latch on as well to the moss pole, now that it's growing up, the leaves are getting bigger and bigger. And so I never was a fan of these plants, but now that the leaves are getting bigger, I'm like, wow, it's pretty awesome. What's this? Valerie says, where do you get that plant from Brad? So, do you know what? Actually, to be fair, thank you very much. Thank you. This plant, the second plant was from Wilco's actually. So the second plant cost me £8 from Wilco's. I'm going to do a whole video on once this plant gets a little bit bigger. I'll do a whole separate video because I've now mastered the whole care routine for these guys. But and learning how to get it to attach to the moss pole was hard work. But now that it's doing it, I've never seen a plant one of these so bushy all the way around. And yeah, as you can see, the leaves are just huge and they're going to get bigger. So my aim is to get it at least a couple of feet high, just because I want to see how big the leaves actually get. And although this leaf isn't fenestrated here, it's still really beautiful. Like, I just love the veins on it. I think it's really, really gorgeous. So somebody's asking, are there any houseplants that can cope with overwatering because you kill several plants by watering too generously? You know, one of the things with overwatering is sometimes it's not necessarily the overwatering. Sometimes it's the soil that the plants are in, because if you're overwatering and the drainage is really good and the soil mixture is really good, that water is just going to drain out. It's when it doesn't drain out properly, then that's kind of where it leads to the overwatering. But there are certain plants that you can get away with it. One of my plants that I can get away with overwatering is Nile. If you remember Nile, she's my black colocasia, my black magic colocasia, and that is because that plant can grow in a pond. So she can be 6 inches underwater and be absolutely fine. So that's the only plant that I have that I know that I can never overwater because she'll be absolutely fine. Your prayer plant only survives if you maintain 60 to 90% humidity. Yeah, I think that's the thing, is the humidity that stops the crispy leaves, and then you spray quite a bit. Like for me, because I don't have a humidifier, there's a lot of misting. So I guess misting is one great option to keep the humidity. Do I plan to make my own moss poles? Yes, that is something that I'm really interested to start doing. So I've been studying, I've been watching a whole load of videos. The thing with me is, because I like the channel to be honest and true, like I don't want to watch a video, do it, and then pretend that I know all about it and then make a video for you guys. Like, I have to do it, learn it, and then feel confident enough to then be able to put a video out for it. So I'm going to be, that's my next step, is to try and make some moss poles. Once I'm confident with it and I've done 3 or 4 and my plants are happy with it, then I'll probably do a video on it. But that's definitely something that I want to do. And then the other thing, I'm spoiling things a little bit, but the other thing that I want to do is I want to make a another video that I've got coming up, sorry, is I've gone out and I've got some branches and twigs and stuff, and I'm using those as moss poles for certain plants as well, because sometimes these moss poles can be expensive. I've seen some that are like 6 or 7, 8 pounds. It's like you've bought the plant, you then need to buy a pot, and then you need to make a moss pole or buy a moss pole, and it gets expensive. So if you can find yourself like the right kind of what's it called, of tree with a branch, then I'm all for it to save money. Let me just put this. So someone else has got their Addisonii from Wilco, and has, yeah, so they obviously do have some good quality plants. Like I said, this the second plant was from Wilco's and it's just doing absolutely amazing. Hi Michelle, welcome to the live chat. Michelle says, you're glad you're on the live chat. You just started to understand how to do your plants and starting to propagate real good. Michelle, what are you propagating? Let us know. Um, Thank you as well for joining the family. uh, we're a bit special, but it's a cool community, I guess. Um, so yeah, that plant is awesome. And then what else do I have that I wanted to? Oh, this was another plant that somehow missed the house plant tour. So I can't pronounce this. Oh no, it is. So this is an Allocation Low Rider, and if you look at the leaves are absolutely awesome. So that is their actual shape, and that's how they're supposed to be. But I just love the kind of the texture and the shape of the leaf. I think they're so pretty. But so for me, it's kind of awkward. So I don't. There has to be something really specific about a plant. So if I go to, if I go plant shopping, it's not. I won't just buy anything green and then just pick it up. It's got to speak to me. It sounds really weird, but for this one, it was the shape of the leaves. I'm like, oh, I've never seen anything like that. So let me get that. That's what attracted to me to this one. And this one, this plant, I actually got from Lidl, and it was once again £7.99, and it's really quite bushy. So I really do love this one. Michelle says you're starting to propagate African violets, donkey tail. I'm about to purchase a vanilla orchid. Oof. Speaking of orchids, they are another plant. Do you know, I struggle with mine. Although it's really she's in my bedroom, my orchid, but I ended up having to chop back the flower stems of the orchid, and I was waiting to kind of see what happens. Obviously, I think it doesn't flower very regularly, and it's one of those plants I've completely forgotten, and it's got no soil in there. It's just a bark mix, and it's pretty much just a whole aeroid. But it seems to be doing well. It's really strange. Like the more I completely forget that it's there, completely forget. And the only watering I do on it actually is it gets misted when I mist the other plants. It's not something that I actually go and really care and water. I don't, because I forget that it's there. I must remember to even record it in the bedroom tour. But I looked at it the other day. I picked it up and it was actually growing new leaves, and I was like, oh wow, it's okay. Um, you've been there, you've done that, you've killed two, and now you're on the third one. Third time's the charm. So maybe third time lucky. Maybe you'll get this orchid sorted. Um, but they are very beautiful when they flower. They're very very finicky. um, Let me do that, and then I think that's pretty much all of the plants I wanted to show you. I just want to double check. Yeah, that was all of them. Now, we're missing a video this week. One of the videos that I was supposed to have recorded was the Monstera albo, and she was four individual plants, and I thought to myself, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was going to maybe split her up and have two plants, and then I ended up combining them and making one giant plant. But since combining, she's made zero growth. Like, she hasn't produced a new leaf, nothing. I can see that a couple of the stems are pregnant, so I can see the leaves, like the new leaves, waiting to unfurl, but they just haven't. And then I started to see discoloration along the stems, which looks like root rot. And I think it's because I overwatered during the transition between it going from perlite to soil. So I'm hoping that within the next few weeks I'll be able to that she will produce the leaves, and then I can kind of see what state that she's in, and then maybe I'll do the video then. But that's not something I'm looking forward to seeing or to showing you. But the major problem that I have at the moment is draft, and so I didn't I didn't realize that the amount of time that I work outside on the balcony, if I leave the balcony door open, it sends a draft in through the flat. And so everything that follows the path of this draft has dropped all of its leaves. Um, and the most of the plants in the front room have dealt with it a little bit better. But what I didn't think about is my bedroom. So when I open my bedroom door, sorry, when I open the window in my bedroom, it kind of leaves a path for the wind to come in, so that it goes directly in a circle, and it creates this little vortex. And when I tell you, the plants in my bedroom, they've reacted so badly to it. If you guys remember, I bought that massive Kisses Discolor from Chelsea Flower Show. Um, I think they named her Serena on TikTok, and that massive plant has been reduced to half of its size. It dropped a lot. It dropped a lot, and it was because of that draft. So that's something new that I'm learning. Oh, Jane says that you've made a few sphagnum pole moss poles. The plants seem to like them. So, okay, so I already know who to get tips off. Jane, I might have to send you some messages asking you about these moss poles if I can't get them right. Um, I think I think yeah. One of the videos that I've got coming up is about peat moss as well. So I'm going to be going out um, to a location and do a bit of filming there. And I've luckily, or fingers crossed, have a sponsorship for that video. So I can't wait to show you guys that. But one of the things with the sphagnum moss is that I can't really find it anywhere. So Jane, just let me know, do you order that online? Is that an Amazon job? Yeah, because I can't find any whatsoever. And I've got some plants that really could do with a moss pole, just like, oh wow. So just to give you an idea on size, so this is my Syngonium. I'm not sure what type of Syngonium it is, but the leaves are huge, and you can see, oops, yeah, you can see from the aerial roots and stuff, it is ready to, well, it's already climbing. So I really do need to give this thing a moss pole, because I think once it has something to attach to and climb up, I think this plant will be an absolute beast. So I'm looking forward to that. This is one of the ones that I do want to make a moss pole for, whereas the other ones I will probably do a branch or something from the park. Out of all of the plants, if you purchase online, which plant company is the best? Do you know, I've had some great success with Waitrose, actually. So Waitrose has got an online plant store, and the packaging has always been really good. and the delivery has been within the next couple of days. So if we're talking about big major plant stores, that is one that I would definitely recommend. But if we're talking about like a smaller planty store, um, that's kind of like your somebody's home business, my absolute favorite has got to be my greens queen. So you can find Kevin on all platforms. So if he's even on TikTok. So he's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and he's got an Etsy shop and an eBay shop. And I got the Syngonium from there, and I got my Birkin from there, and I got who else? And I got Todrick. Todrick was my Mickey Mouse alocasia. So my variegated alocasia was from him as well. So let me just type that into the chat just so that you guys have got it. There you go. So I just typed it in there. My Green is Queens. Just do a search for him online on Instagram, and you'll find him. And he makes such cool videos and reels and stuff. And I've never, in fact, if you look back on my videos and you have a look at the video on my variegated plant haul, that is where all of those plants came from Kevin. So if you do order from him, let him know that you saw my video or that you spoke to me on live chat. But yeah, honestly, he's just, it's so different. So you can order from these big stores, but then when you've got someone who's passionate about their plants, who cares so much about each one of them individually, the quality and everything, and the handwritten notes and stuff that he gives you, he really cares. And actually, whilst I'm here, there's another one, Plants for All Seasons. So I just typed that one in there. That's another great one. So I've got all of my Monstera albos came from Plants for All Seasons. Once again, packaged perfectly. Plants for All Seasons you can find on Instagram and Etsy as well, and I think eBay too. So yeah, another good one. Okay, I think that's everything that I had to show you. Before we go, do you guys have any questions for me? Is there anything that you would want to see from me, video wise, content wise? Let me know, and then I can try and change around my content calendar. At the moment, at the moment I am full-time content creating. I want to share more with you. I can't at the moment, but at the moment I'm focusing on caring for a relative. So I'm a carer at the moment. So I'm a full-time carer, plus also doing YouTube. So I've got plenty of time to do lots and lots of videos for you. If you guys want a specific video, either let me know on this chat here, or just drop me a message on Instagram or Facebook, and I will put together a video. Valerie, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you all for joining me as well. Are you going to start showing more of my vegetables? Yes. So I think what I'm going to do with what I'm going to do moving forward is you'll get one video balcony gardening, and then one video house planting, so that we've got a balance. Because I've mentioned before on a few other chats is when you build a YouTube channel, YouTube likes, well, the YouTube gurus tell you that you have to have one specific niche. And so for me, that would be, okay, I have to have just simply balcony gardening. But obviously, I don't really believe in being penned in or following any rules. So I'm very aware that the channel is very wide in scope and what it is that I do. So it's balcony gardening, indoor stuff. So in order to keep everyone happy, rather than it being all balcony gardening one week or all houseplant one week, there's one houseplant video and then one balcony video, just to keep everything balanced. And this week you are going to see me out in the garden. I'm going to be trying to get it ready for winter. So you'll see a lot of my veg, and I've got some videos on on overwintering peppers, for example. So it's now that it's getting colder here in England, I'm going to have to dig up my peppers. So I'm going to show you the process of that. I've also got sweet potatoes out there that are getting knocked about in this cold wind. And so I also need to do a sweet potato harvest. So there's a whole load of vegetable kind of content coming up. Are you open to doing plant care videos, like for different kinds of plants? Yes. So as I said, similar to the moss pole situation, because I don't want to be fake with you guys, it's just not me. I'd rather do a plant care video on a plant that I know that I can, I know that I've got it 100%. So that was one of the reasons why the Monstera video was my first houseplant care video. But anything in the philodendron line, I can pretty much do videos on. So I think, in all honesty, the next one is probably going to be the Addisonii, because I feel like I've got a real grasp on that. But yes, there's going to be some more plant care videos coming up as well. And I think probably the Addisonii and also the Syngoniums are going to be up there on that list of plants that they'll get their own plant care videos. Can't wait for the bedroom tour. Guys, I cannot wait. Do you know what? I cannot wait for you guys to see the bedroom tour, because the plants in this bedroom tour, they are so characterful. they are amazing. I really, really do love them, and I care for these guys. I don't actually have to do that much. They just really, really, really really get on with things, but I absolutely love them. So I can't wait to show you them. And then there's their backstories. I think you're going to really enjoy them. And then once I've done that, I'll just don't want my backside showing. I've just this second got my brand new, it's supposed to be a bookshelf, but it's just arrived today. It's going to be it's supposed to be a bookshelf, but it's going to be my brand new plant shelf. So I'm going to be putting this up, so I will have plenty more space that of course doesn't need filling. So the plan is I will probably do the bedroom tour so you guys get to see that, and then by the time I've done that, I will have brought in a whole load of plants outside. And I can tell you this now, one of the plants that will be coming inside is Beatrice, who is my passion fruit vine. I've been documenting Beatrice's growth for the past year and a half, and so it's basically showing you how to grow passion fruit from seed to fruit. So I'm going to be bringing her in, and she needs to come inside. So I think she's going into my bedroom. That's where she started. Sorry. So I got that to do. Then once I've got everything inside, I can then do another tour of just like a winter tour to show you where everything is and the different types of plant care that I've got to do throughout winter, because obviously it's going to change a little bit. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for joining me or for joining us. I really appreciate it. Oh, so Stacey, Syngoniums, you said yours look like crap, and you okay. So if how about I do the Syngoniums then as the next video for you, Stacey. So the next plant care video will be a Syngonium video because yeah, I think okay, we'll do that then. I'll change around the content calendar and put that in for you. So yeah, Stacey, you've got your Syngoniums. That might be next week, next week's planting video. Um, you think you can? You think I should try some ferns? Ferns are so beautiful and soothing. Hello, Kay's Imperfect Garden. Ferns. Do you know it goes back to what I was saying before. Like I look at plants, and if it doesn't jump out at me, then I don't get them. And ferns. But today I was on one of my random walks, and I saw. I think it's called. Is it a rattlesnake fern? Something like that. But I saw that, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks pretty." And I was kicking myself for not getting it. So I think I might go back and get it. So you might get your wish with the ferns. Um, but anyway, I think unless you guys have got any more questions for me, I think that will be everything. Thank you so much for joining me. It really makes a difference. And thank you guys for watching all the videos. I know I say this so much and it probably sounds super corny, but I'm really, really grateful. I never imagined to have a channel and I never imagined for it to grow as quickly as it has done. And I never imagined with my own mental health that I would even have the confidence to sit and do live chats now. Like I don't have any anxiety about doing these live chats because I just feel like I'm talking to a group of my friends. So thank you so much. Like it really helps me to grow as a person as well. So thank you guys for everything. It's been a real pleasure. um, thank you. Take care, everybody, and have an amazing week. Remember, I've got new videos Thursday, Saturday, and I think we might just get another live chat on Sunday depending on what video I do on Saturday, but I'll do a community post, so look out for the community post and I'll let you know when the next live chat will be. Thank you again, see you soon, bye bye.